Today's notes are on arithmetic series, and the notes are there for you to print off or to follow along with, go along with the video. Arithmetic series. The word series just means that you are doing the sum of a set number of terms in an arithmetic sequence. So arithmetic series just says find the sum of a certain number. So if you had the sequence like 3, 6, 9, 12, that's an arithmetic sequence. The arithmetic series would be 3 plus 6 plus 9 plus 12, and what that adds up to. And with a small one, 3, 6, 9, 12, simple to add those up in your calculator. The answer is 30. It's when you start getting bigger series that there's a formula that will add them up for you. And that formula says take the number of terms divided by 2 times the first number in the sequence plus the nth, which would be pretty much the last number because n is the number of terms. So in this case, it would be, if there are 4 terms there, 4 divided by 2 times the first one plus the last one, which was 12. Well, 4 divided by 2 is 2. 3 plus 12 is 15. And that's 30. And the reason that works is because in a pattern, the 3 and the 12 add up to 15. Well, so do the 6 and the 9. And so that would make 2 15s, and adds up to 30. Well, let's see how this works. Not a long worksheet, but you still need to remember the formula for the nth term, because sometimes, like in number 1, find the sum of the first 20 terms in the arithmetic sequence. So to do that, we need to know how many terms there are. We do. N is 20. We need to know the first term, and we do. The first term is 3. But the nth term, which in this case is going to be the 20th term, we don't know. So you're going to have to go back to, back to the other formula. So a sub 20, the 20th term, will be the first term, plus 20 minus 1, is 20 minus the first term, times the common difference. If you don't remember, you can subtract. So D is 7 minus 3, or 4. So the 20th term, again, just calculator work, 3 plus parenthesis 20 minus 1 times 4 is 79. That's not the answer, just the 20th term. So now back to the formula. If we want the sum of the first 20 terms, that will be 20 divided by 2, n divided by 2, times first term plus the 20th term. And that also can just be put in the calculator. And you can do, on Desmos or in your regular calculator, 20 divided by 2, parenthesis 3 plus 79. So 820 is the sum if you added up the first 20 terms of that. So number 2, same idea. If you want to try it first before I do it, see if how far you can get. But so I know the first term. I know there are going to be 25 terms. I know the common difference is 31 minus 34, negative 3. So to find the 25th term, first term plus 25 minus 1 times negative 3. First term plus 25 minus 1, negative 3. So it is the 25th term is negative 38. Again, not the answer, just the term you need to find the sum of the first 25. 25 divided by 2 times first term plus the nth term, which would be negative 38. And you could just do minus 38 there if you wanted to, but 25 over 2, 34 plus negative 38. So the sum of the first 25 terms in this one is negative 50. All right. Number 3 is an example of when it writes it as a series. So 6 plus 11 plus 16 plus 21 plus. You know you're adding up, and again, you can tell by the pattern of the numbers, the common difference is 11 minus 6. It's going up 5 every time, right? So we know the first term. You know the nth term. You know the last term. Just this time we don't know what n is. You need that for your formula. So go back to the other formula. And if you know 126 is the final term, then it will equal the first term plus n minus 1. So this way we can find n. And again, the common difference is 5. Don't distribute to find n. Subtract the 6. So minus 6 is 120 equals n minus 1 times 5. When you divide that 5, remember n will always be a counting number. So 120 divided by 5, that will always come out to a whole number. 24 equals n minus 1. So n, add 1 is 25. So this is also the first 25 terms of the sequence. So the sum, following your formula, of the first 25 terms will be 25 divided by 2 times first term is 6, and the 25th term is 126. Now, calculator, 25 divided by 2, 6 plus 126, and it's 1650. Same idea for number 4. So if your terms are decreasing, so if you want to try it, pause, try it, come back and see if you did okay. The common difference for this one, 14 minus 20 is negative 6. Sometimes instead of adding a negative, if you see this, it might just be minus 160 minus 166, but it would still be the same pattern. So you know the first, you know the last term. We just need to find out how many terms that is in between. Because dot, 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 we can't just count them up. So starting with the 166 equals the first term plus n minus 1 times our common difference, negative 6. Again, subtract the 20 first. So negative 166 minus 20. So negative 186 equals n minus 1 times negative 6. Negative 186 divided by negative 6. Remember, n will always be a positive, counting number. So n minus 1 equals 31. So n is 32. Not the answer, just what we need to plug in this formula. Again, the sum of the first 32 will be 32 divided by 2 times first term plus the last term is negative 166. So the sum of the first 32 terms is 32 divided by 2, parenthesis, 20 plus negative 166, negative 2336. All right. So series is just adding up, follow that formula, and use the other sequence formula if you're missing any piece of that formula. All right. On the second page, number 5, evaluate an arithmetic series. So you want the sum of the first 50 terms, given the following information, and they tell you the first term is 9 and the 50th. So this has everything we need. So the sum of the first 50 will be 50 divided by 2, first term plus 50th term, which is straight to the calculator. 50 divided by 2, 9 plus 213, 5550. That's simple. So don't let it, just because it's a word problem, don't make it more difficult. Evaluate the arithmetic sequence or series as been given the following information. So first term, you're adding up the first 29 terms, but they give you the common difference, which is not part of the formula. So with that, we can find that 29th term to go into the formula. So think about it. The sum of the first 29 terms is 29 divided by 2, first term plus, we need that 29th term to go there. So a sub 29 will be the first term, 29 minus 1 times the common difference, 11. So the 29th term, 7 plus parentheses 29 minus 1 times 11 is 315. Don't stop there. Plug that 315 into your formula for the series. 29 over 2, 7 plus 315. 4, so the sum of the first 29 is 4669. All right. Number 7. Evaluate the arithmetic series given the following information. This time they gave you the 7th term and the 16th term with 29. So we don't have the first term and we don't have the 29th term. And we need those to do the series. So, and we don't have the common difference. So we're going to use these two terms, find that common difference first. So always start with the latter. 95 will equal 158 plus, that is the parenthesis 16th term minus the 7th term times d. So 95, subtract the 158. 95 minus 158. So negative 63 equals 16 minus 7, 9d. Divide by 9. So d is negative 7. Again, check, does that make sense? The 7th term is 158. The 16th term is 95. So yeah, it's going to be a negative because those terms are getting smaller. And so now I can get the first term by just plugging in what I know. So the first term would be that. I'm going to use the 158. Doesn't matter which one I use. 158 plus, remember, would be the first term minus, that is the 7th term, times negative 7. So 158, type that right, 158 plus, parentheses, 1 minus 7 times negative 7 is 200. And then the 29th term will be 158 plus 29 minus 7 times negative 7. The same thing, but you just change it from the first term. Now you want the 29th term. So 158 plus, parentheses, 29 minus 7, negative 7 is 4. So that's 200, that's 4. Now you know everything to get the sum of the first 29 terms is 29 over 2 times 200 plus 4. 29 divided by 2, 200 plus 4, 2958. So the sum of the first 29 terms is 2958. All right. Lots of work with that one, but not so bad using that other formula. All right. So down at the bottom, these are very common later on in math. This is called, it's a summation symbol. It's a capital Greek letter sigma. And it says, find the sum of, so it's a series, find the sum of from 1 to 22, so the first 22 terms of this expression, which you probably know, mx plus b, that's linear. And any linear expression is going to give you an arithmetic sequence. So if you think about it, when you plug in 1, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 7 is 9. If you plug in 2, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 7 is 11. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 7 is 13. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 7 is 15. So you get this arithmetic sequence that's always going up by 2 every time. Your common difference would be 2. So to do the sum of the first 22 terms, we need n, which is 22. We need the first term. And to get the first term in this one, you just plug into that formula. 2 times 1 plus 7, which I already said was 9. And I also need the 22nd term. So I don't have to list this out to 22. Just plug into this formula. 2 times 22 plus 7, which is 44 plus 7 is 51. Now, based on this pattern, you could use the other formula to find the 22nd term, and you would still get 51. But since you have this linear equation, just use it. And now I have everything. What is the sum of the first 22? That'd be 22 divided by 2. The first one was 9 plus 51. (22) divided by 2, 9 plus 51. 660. All right, so that's simple when it's starting with the first to the 22nd. This one, it wants you to add up from the 12th term to the 35th. Well, our formula is set up to go from the first to the however many terms there are. So first off, if we think about like what is the 12th term of this sequence, so what is a sub 12? I can just plug 12 in. 8 minus 3 times 12. So 8 minus 3 times 12, it's negative 28. So that would be the first number that I want to add. And then it's going down 3 each time. If you plugged in 13, it would go to negative 31, and then negative 34, and then negative, until you get to the 35th term. Well, the 35th term is 8 minus 3 times 35. 8 minus 3 times 35. Negative 97. And it would stop there. And then we're going to add all those up. Well, to add them up, that n value, it's the sum of how many terms there are. Well, if it's the first 22 terms, then that n is 22. That's simple. Or if they tell you how many terms. But if they're not starting with the first term, then how many terms is it that we're adding up? I do know, so it's some number divided by 2. I know the first one's negative 28, negative 97, because I got those by plugging in the 12 and the 35, right? But if I want 12 to be my first term instead of my 12th term, then I would subtract 11, right? So 12 minus 11 would put that at the first term. So 35 minus 11, so one less than that, would put me at the 24th. So this is actually 24 terms that I'm adding up. So see if that makes sense. If your teacher tells you to read pages 5 through 8, how many pages are you reading? Well, you're reading 5, 6, 7, 8. You're reading 4 pages. Well, you don't do 8 minus 5 because that's 3. You would do 8 minus 1 less because you're not reading the first 4 pages. So if you're starting with the 12th term, you would subtract off the first 11 that we don't care about. So 35 minus 11, 24. Put 24 into your summation or your series. 24 divided by 2 times negative 28 plus negative 97, negative 1500. All right. Try the assignment that follows on arithmetic series. Good luck. We'll see you next time.